Hey guys, it's quote unquote your boy, Ballface 8020, back again with another great commentary. Sorry about my voice. I got my MGTOW nephew has been over this week, and he spent pretty much the entire week coughing on me. So I finally got a cold. It seems like it peaked earlier today, and I'm on my way out, but the voice is still fucked up. Hopefully, it's not too distracting. Um, Yeah, definitely still don't feel great, but I'm getting better. I definitely feel better. Hopefully in a couple more days. So anyway, everybody, I hope had a good Thanksgiving. And speaking of Thanksgiving, I saw this post on FDS, and it reminded me something that I had thought of. So, we can read it here, and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, so Thanksgiving red flags. Today, my sister-in-law, mother-in-law, and I worked all day cooking, preparing our family Thanksgiving dinner. My brother-in-law smoked a turkey. Cumulative time invested about 45 minutes. At no time did my father-in-law ask if we needed help or raise his finger to help. Mm. Sure, he played with the kids for a bit, but for the most part, the two men of the family sat in the recliner watching football and drinking. My husband passed away a few months ago, but he would have been parked in a recliner too, or up my ass anxious as hell. We ladies are cleaning up too for the most part. LVM will drain your energy, resources dry, and ask why you cussed under your breath, and tell you that cussing is bad manners. Yeah, I've been hearing about this for a while. This is something that feminists are really and this is why, like, as much as reading MGTOW stuff has actually made me sympathetic to feminism, that I don't really I wouldn't even say it's fair to just call me a non-feminist. I would still consider myself anti-feminist. I really can't stand feminist, um, or feminism, and it's for stuff like this. Um, because this is, I mean, it's just they have such a I don't know what's up. There's like they have no perspective, no broader perspective. They're saying like, well, why? How come the men aren't helping with the cooking, or the men aren't helping with the cleaning? And this is unfair. It's like, no, it's because we don't give a flying fuck. Here's the thing. Like, if the women in the family tell me like, Ballface 8020, we need you to help with the cooking and cleaning up at Thanksgiving, or we're not going to have Thanksgiving. I would just say, okay, well, we're not going to have Thanksgiving then. Let's go to Wendy's. That's seriously what I would say, because that's fine to me. Like, I don't give a shit if we don't have Thanksgiving. When they say that they were going to say stuff like, oh, well, you need to help with the cleaning, or else I'm going to let the house just, become a pigsty with rats running around. It's like, that's completely fine with me. Like, I don't mind living in complete filth. So I know I'm not alone, because, I've noticed this with friends of mine who've, gotten wifed up. I'd go to their apartments before they were married, and they'd be disgusting. Like, you could tell they were true bachelor paths. They were just gross. And then you go to their homes after they've gotten married, and they're all super nice. And the reason is because their wives or girlfriends or whatever are cleaning the place up. But it's not like, I mean, like, this idea, like, I mean, the implication is always that the men are like forcing the women to do this, and that's not true. It's because the men don't even really notice. They're like, that's like, oh, okay, that counter is dirty. Whatever, I don't care. Whatever, man, and they ignore it. And whereas, like, women, and there are exceptions, and we'll talk about that. But the women will be like, "Ah, God, that's gross," and they'll go and clear it up, because for me, in my house, it was the other way around. It was not that my mom was a slob, but she wasn't anywhere the neat freak that my dad was. So the thing is, my dad was always doing, the cleaning and stuff. But it had, like, nobody would say that my mom was making him do it. It was, in fact, a lot of times she would fight with him, saying like, won't you just stop cleaning? Because it would make her think that, like, he was implying that she was a slob by him, like, going always and cleaning all the stuff out. Um, I don't know. I mean, that was one of my dad had a lot of quirks, and his obsession with cleaning was definitely definitely one of them. He really didn't like things being messed up. Like, he had this thing where we always had to clean the house before we left to go somewhere because he couldn't stand coming back to an empty house. I mean, back to a messy house. It was just, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's the thing. So, like, this idea that men should help with the housework. No, I don't, or help with the cooking. No, why should we? Why should we? Well, just, I know, I mean, like, see, I'm not in a relationship, but I'm saying, like, this idea that men in relationships are oppressing women by not doing it. It's like, fuck that shit. It's not our fault that you guys are all into, like, that it's not our fault that you guys aren't down for eating fast food every night, or that you guys aren't willing to live in filth. That is not our fault. Okay, that is that's if you're not willing to, but don't expect us to do. I mean, since you're the ones who care about it, it's only fair that you do the work. Why should we do it for you? I mean, that's bullshit, man. And it's one of those things that I just hate about feminism. So no, I don't think there was anything wrong with what these guys did, with not helping out. I think they did the right thing. Um, and I also want to point out one other thing. The cleaning, I'll give it. I know that a lot of women don't like cleaning, and they want men to pick up after themselves a little better or help them out with the cleaning. I'll give them that one. Like, that they're. I mean, I don't think men really should have to, but I'll give them the, like, I know, at least know what they're saying there. But, like, the women doing most of the cooking and Thanksgiving dinner, and most of the cleaning, there's a couple of things going on there. First of all, the women tend to be much less interested in football, which is what guys are doing after Thanksgiving dinner, or before, is they're watching football. Second of all, the women seem to actually enjoy, cleaning together in, like, an all girls thing. So they kind of volunteer. Like, I've never seen a situation where it's even occurred to me that the women cleaning up the dishes and stuff didn't want to be doing that. So, in fact, I even remember reading this. I don't know if the site's still around. Do you guys remember that site Feministing from back in the day? There was this girl in the comments who was saying that, like, yeah, because of my feminism, I was out watching football when my sisters and mom were cleaning up on Thanksgiving dinner, and nobody said anything to me. But then I got bored and I really wanted to talk to my mom and my sisters, so I went in and helped them with the cleaning. Psh, end of fucking discussion. End of fucking discussion. Take that feminist bullshit somewhere else. So we could cut the video off here, but let's just see if there's anything in the comments that's worth responding to. I mean, probably not, but alright. I was reflecting on this today, and I realized that I've never not experienced this on holiday, no matter the family or how many attendees. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mother's Day, you name it. The women are cooking and cleaning and the men are useless. At best, they'll belch and say it's a compliment. Today was my first Thanksgiving solo, and I didn't even cook for myself. I went skiing solo all day before coming back to my still clean apartment and ordering Indian takeout for dinner. I will 100% do this again next year. It made me decide that if I ever host another holiday, I'm just inviting other women. The men can fend for themselves. It's not like they appreciate good cooking anyway. Well, okay, that one, that's not very nice. The last thing she said, I don't think that's true. That we don't. It's not. It's not like. I mean, it's more about the. Like, I can understand if something's made good. If you made something good, it doesn't matter how good you make it if it's not a food that I like. I'm sorry, I don't like turkey. Okay, I don't like it, and there's nothing you can make at home that's going to be as good as a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Like seriously, no disrespect. So don't tell me that I can't appreciate it. But, like, I mean, it's not like, I think I just feel like home cooking is overrated. Not that there isn't great home cooking. Not that it isn't good to have sometimes. But, I mean, don't say that we can't appreciate home cooking. And as for us fending for ourselves, again, you just said that you ordered Indian takeout and loved it. Well, now you know how we feel. So, like, if you don't want to do it, nobody's forcing you. Don't blame us, It sounds like what you're saying is that You just realize that we were right all along. I honestly hate the holidays. There are so many expectations to get everything so perfect, and the gifts are usually junk. Yeah, I don't wouldn't say I hate the holidays, but I definitely. I mean, I guess I kind of had mixed feelings for them. Like, obviously, I loved the holidays when I was a little kid, but ever since then, I feel like I get less of the holiday benefits and more of the holiday stress. I know that when the holiday season is finally over, I'm just left with this feeling of relief. Um, so yeah, I know what you're saying. And as for gifts, it's like usually it's just stuff that I'm always wondering, like, where am I going to put this shit? Because if there was anything I'd want, I'd buy it myself. It's different when you're a little kid. I definitely don't like all this consumerism. Completely agree. My therapist, yeah, of course, it's FDS, and they love their therapy, calls the whole mess of expectations the shoulds. Christmas should be with family, around a tree, with stockings on the fireplace mantle, with XYZ for dinner, with weeks of gift shopping and wrapping and cooking, baking, and it's all bullshit. Everyone needs to unpack their inherited shoulds from family, culture, society, then keep what you like and toss the rest. Shoulds are a feeling of obligation, and obligation isn't fun or enjoyable. Yeah, but it's not that simple because the obligations are all related to what you have at the family. Do you think I enjoy all the bullshit that I have to do with my family over the holidays? Fuck no. But I have a choice. I can either just not participate at all, which is going to have people in my family being like, what the fuck, man? And I'd feel bad about it. And honestly, I would be missing out on some stuff. I mean, I would rather miss out on the stuff than help with the cooking and cleaning. But in terms of like, since I'm not expected to do that, even though it is still stressful for me, I'm happy to participate. Um, but so it's not that and that part of that entails dealing with again stressful shit that I really don't want to deal with because that's fucking life. That's how life goes, you know. So I mean, maybe your therapist should tell you that. Start your own tradition and let the kids add their favorites and allow for their favorites to change over the years. That's what the holidays should be anyway. That's what the holidays are. Not eating ham or whatever because some great grandmother brought it because it was cheaper than turkey one year and now it's tradition. Yeah, I mean that shit changes, and then I mean that'll probably change. Then when that grandmother dies, that they'll stop doing it. That shit. Like, I mean, it already happens. Traditions change, and that's that. I mean, yeah. This is really insightful. I mean, I didn't think so. This is my goal when my kids are all over 18. Sorry, kids, I'm over it. Okay, grandma, but here's the thing. If you don't do that shit, then they're not going to be bringing your grandkids over, you know? So, yeah, I mean, whatever, man, you do you. I don't care. But I'm just telling you. It's give and take. That's life, man. Why? Are they incapable of cutting up vegetables and preparing a turkey? No, we just don't care. We don't care. You guys care and we don't. Okay? We don't care about that shit. It's insulting. They're basically bashing us for not caring about the same stuff that they do. I'm in the UK, so we don't have Thanksgiving, but the next big holiday will be Christmas, with a similar get together with family over a big meal. I'm the best chef of our immediate family, and I enjoy cooking. End of discussion. But no way am I going to spend all day peeling potatoes, cooking pigs in blankets, serving drinks. I get in everyone else to prepare the veg, cook party, pour drinks, while I oversee the final set, seasoning the veg, roasting, cutting the turkey. We all get a delicious meal. We've helped prepare, and it's also much more efficient. Individuals clean up after themselves, dishes to soak in the sink, leftovers put it over the cool. Set boundaries and don't be stuck living where we're supposed to be a family holiday, or feign illness, or get your delightful father-in-law to take you out for dinner at his expense. Yeah, I mean, take you out. I mean, yeah, I mean that's yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be going to your party if you were going to say I had to help with the cooking and cleaning. I'm not going. So that's I mean, it's on you. Everybody do it their own way. And but again, you're trying to make it this like female oppression thing, and it's not. I'm not doing it because I think it's your job as a woman. I'm not doing it because I don't care. um oh, you bet my boundaries will be up after Christmas. I'm keeping the peace for Christmas for the sake of my kids, and because it's the first holiday without their son, my husband. Yeah, that sucks. But I'll never be a part of a get together like that again. I'm done. All right. I mean, you do you. Today, my mom and grandma cooked a huge meal for just us three plus my kids. Not a single LVM in sight. However, this is only due to the fact that my mother's boyfriend is the lowest of them all. He refused to attend, so she left after cleaning up to take him food and spend the rest of the day with him. Watching her serve this piece of trash has really helped me embrace my single life. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, but I'm sorry about that, but whatever. I'm sorry about that, but still don't think he should have to help cook. Um, I am very fortunate that in my family everyone helps. Well, that's stupid. Why are the men helping if they don't care? Unless it's just some weird shit. You know, I've never just saw my father on his ass on the sofa waiting for Xmas dinner. Yeah, now that I think about it, I seem to remember my granddad being pretty involved in Christmas dinner. If you're wondering, yes, I'm Jewish, but we celebrated Christmas in my family because my my both my parents were really adamant that I mean they told my grandparents on both sides, like, look, we're not going to raise the kids Christian or anything. We're not going to church. They'll be raised Jewish, but we're celebrating Christmas. We don't want our kids to miss out on Christmas like we did. And you guys can either accept that or not see your grandkids. And so they accepted it, and they actually hosted us for Christmas dinner. And so I seem to remember my granddad being involved in that, but I also don't remember that well. I mean, neither my granddad or my grandma were the greatest cooks. My mom was the good cook. My dad was not great. My grandparents were pretty bad. Anyway, I remember one Xmas bringing a Scroat X for dinner. We were all doing stuff, and the Scroat was just sitting on the sofa. My dad actually went there and told him, "In this house, no one is your server. Get up and help." Oh my god, your dad is a fucking douchebag piece of shit. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't believe in violence. I'm sure your dad could kick my ass anyway, but having said that, let's say I was a big guy. Let's say I was like 6'5" or something, and your piece of shit tough guy dad mouthed off to me like that. Absolutely, the idea of fucking him up would occur to me. I mean, I'm pretty confident I wouldn't do it because, again, I seriously, I know that maybe sometimes I come off as kind of angry in my videos, but you're only really seeing one side of me, and really, I'm not a violent person, and I'm very against violence. Really, really, for because I think it's cowardly. Kind of like how I related to what I just said, because I'm saying that, like, if I was 6'5", I might be tempted to do that, but which kind of gets the thing. So, like, I'm saying that, like, basically I feel like people are only willing to be violent when they have an advantage, and when they have a physical advantage, which makes sense. But if you're only willing to do it when you have a physical advantage, then isn't that kind of cowardly? So that's how I feel. um so that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So even me, who's not violent, though, if he said that, I'd absolutely be thinking that. um the I would if it happened to me today, I'd probably just walk out. I'm not gonna get into that shit. But I would want to fight, honestly. I hate tough guy dads. I hate tough guy dads. Like my dad and I didn't always see eye to eye. We had a lot of issues. My dad would never have said something like that to a guest I invited over. He would never have talked to somebody I invited over that way. Absolutely not. Um, and my dad was already dead before my sister had boyfriends. But if she did have a boyfriend over, there's no way my dad would ever talk to him like that. Okay, and like that, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. And that this tough guy dad shit does not fly with me. I really don't like it. You remember how I was saying that, like, one of the few things that makes me violently angry is women saying men aren't tall enough. Like, like, why are the other thing would be tough guy dads. That's one of the things that make me, like, violently angry. I noticed this phenomenon in middle school and high school. I vowed to never be in the kitchen with the women, and boy, do I get looked down on for it. Well, I mean, they probably think it's weird. I mean, the thing is, when you say look down on for it, my guess is it's the women who are looking down on you for it. They're like thinking, like, well, why isn't she helping? How come she doesn't want to hang out with us? Because they instinctively know. Because these non-feminist women get it. Non-feminist women, I think, get a bad rap. They're, people are like they're bashing them, but non-feminist women are usually okay. Like outside of FDS, women really aren't that bad. I mean, I would definitely put normal women way above MGTOWs. But I think the women who are working in the kitchen are thinking like are instinctively. I mean, it's probably not all fleshed out, but instinctively they're thinking like, well, yeah, the men are watching football because they don't care, and this is a chance for us to do this together, which is fun. And if we don't do it, it's not going to get done. So, that's that. So I could understand them looking down at a woman who's not helping them out. So and of course I would expect an FDSer to not understand it because FDSers are fucking morons. Shield Maiden Lagertha. It's such bullshit because these guys probably still expect women to work full time and pay 50-50. You don't get to have it both ways, boys. If we're breadwinners, then we're not going to play Hoss for all bang maid while you fart on the couch. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I mean, you're like here's how it is, right? Here's how it is. No, we're not gonna support you because that shit doesn't work anymore. That was never really economically viable. That was economically viable for a very narrow time in American history for a narrow group of people. Historically, men have earned money and so have women. That's the only way to support a family. You need two incomes. Okay, two incomes. So no, you will still work full time, and you were still going to pay 50-50. Okay, and yes, you were going to play. You don't have to do bang maid if you. I mean, you don't have to do the bang part if you don't want. That's up to you. But the maid, yes, no, you were going to do the cooking and you were going to do the cleaning, or if you don't, that's okay too. But the house is not going to get cleaned, and we're going to have fast food every night. So it's your choice. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. All right, it's your choice. That's feminism, right? Choice. So you choose wisely. My dad is an HVM and I have such high standards. He cooks, but he doesn't cook for Thanksgiving. So yesterday he helped by cleaning the house, plating the food, and this morning before myself, my mom, and my brothers who did the cooking got up, he had washed and put away all the pots, dishes, and china from yesterday. I cooked along with my moms and siblings. I have one brother who didn't cook, so he set the table and cleaned the house for the guests. It starts in childhood. If you and their fathers raise your sons to contribute, they will be men who take turns with their wives. Look, man, it depends on the family, right? It depends on the family. Okay, like I see it with my with the with the with my brother and his wife, and with my sister and her husband. They are both very heavily involved. Like when we go to eat dinner or whatever at their houses, they're both heavily involved. I don't know if one does more than the other. Um, I would say that I notice when it comes to cleaning the dishes when it's my sister and like her more jock type uh, husband, I've actually never seen him clean the dishes. I'm sure he does like other times, but not for parties. But whereas because he usually wants to come out and watch football or whatever, because he's like a jock, and the my brother though is I always see them doing the cooking and cleaning together because it makes sense in the context of their relationship. Like my brother and his wife and my sister and her husband, they really value these things of like having people over, making sure the food is prepared properly, and making sure their home stays clean. So because they both care about these things equally, they're both equally involved. When the problems come up is when the two partners don't value those things equally. Then of course they're not going to do as much. It's not some patriarchal conspiracy. Yesterday, I went to my partner's house for Thanksgiving for the first time. I had never met his family before. His younger sisters are both pregnant and recently married and engaged. His mom said that they needed to learn to be wives and help clear the table. My partner cleared my plate for me. I really appreciate that about him. He takes care of me. What a nice change. Um, I I mean, I'm happy she found somebody. I'm just literally not understanding what she said. What does she mean? What does she mean? Cleared my plate for me. But look, I'm glad she found a guy that she likes. So I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm against guys being involved in housework or helping with the cooking and cleaning. That's not what I mean to say at all. Like, I'm all for that. I just don't think that they should do it if it's something that they don't care about, and it's something that the woman does care about. And I would say that, like, the I mean, unless it's just something like he's doing it to make her happy, then yeah, then if you want to say that too. But what I'm against doing it as some kind of like inherently feminist 50-50 equality thing, because that's just not how life works. Unfortunately, complaining and cussing won't solve this. Only women deciding together to exclude any man who doesn't help as much as any woman from the table, or excluding all men, will change this. Yes, but then men won't come. Then, which is, again, if that's what you want, that's fine. But don't lie to yourself that you're punishing us. I mean, we're going to be okay regardless. If you want, this is what I feel like the thing is. Like, women, women have some reasonable things, and then they have some unreasonable things. And like, the reasonable things is, things like they expect fidelity, they expect you not to be looking at other women and stuff like that. They expect, you to be committed for life, even, when her looks go, shit like that. um they expect you to really love her more than you love yourself. Look, they expect you to take care of the kids and be a good father. Expect you to be kind to her. All that shit is good. Those are totally reasonable expectations and requirements. Um, but what they shouldn't expect is for men to like put effort into anything, because that's not necessarily something we do. We only really put effort into stuff that, like, we're passionate about. We're not going to put effort into something just because you think that we should. The thing is, like, we're not going to usually not going to put effort into shit that we don't care about. That's fucked up, man. Of course, most women won't do this because they prefer getting fucked over and complaining about it instead. No, most women won't do it because they get it. The thing is, the women know, like, I'm going to either do this shit myself or it's not going to get done. Like, yeah, I could say that men are excluded, but I also know that they'll be happy to just get tacos and watch football with their bros. So, like I said, give and take, man? You know? Even if one woman in every family wants to change things, the rest won't back her up, but will still complain over being overworked. Yeah, I mean, look, man, maybe I should start doing some more stuff to help. Now I'm feeling guilty. But, but, I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's be honest, right? When it comes to like cleaning the dishes after a kitchen, there's only so much room in the kitchen. The thing is, it's not going to be able to hold more than four people doing the shit. And if all the women want to be doing it, then there's not going to be place for the guys. And if I as a guy went out and joined them, I would be completely ruining their conversation. So it's like, it's not all, again, they're not looking at the whole picture here. Still, in this situation, I wouldn't have worked while the men did nothing. Every person makes, I know you guys can't see the bottom part, choice for themselves here, men and women. Yeah, well, you're a fucking feminist idiot. You know, um, it reminds me of this thing that happened. It's kind of just an aside. My mom, yeah, obviously, my parents were Jewish, obviously, but like, for them, it was like an ethnicity. Like, my dad didn't really have any feelings about the religion or any religion one way or the other, but my mom hated Judaism, and there was this time that I can't remember why, but she had to go to like a synagogue, like a real synagogue, not like an American Reform Jew synagogue, but like an Orthodox synagogue, which is in an Orthodox synagogue, the men are on the ground floor and the women stand in the balcony. And like my mom's not isn't what I'd call a feminist, but she would say, "No, that's demeaning to women. I'm not doing it." So what she did is she refused to stay there during the service, so she went and helped in the kitchen. Because like standing in the balcony is degrading, but helping in the kitchen is just helping in the kitchen. It's there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing anti-feminist. There's nothing degrading about it. So all right. Well, again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next.